Good evening. This is Southeastern 16 presented by FanDuel. I'm your host, Chris Lee, joined by Chase Robinson. We are here to react to Texas A&M's impending win over Mississippi State. The Aggies are up 31-9 with a little bit over 3 minutes to go, putting the finishing touches on an erratic but commanding performance, I would say, in College Station. We will maybe hit on some brief things from other games. Chase didn't join me earlier in the day, so we'll give him a chance to express his thoughts on some stuff he saw. We hit some national games of interest because, boy, do we have some interesting scores other places in the NCAA that are going to impact the playoff race, which is what we're all here for. And before we get there, just a reminder, we are brought to you by GameTime Sidekicks. You can see the beautiful 40-ounce mug that I use every week. Got my ice water in there for today. It is officially licensed stainless steel drinkware. All SEC schools, 350 other universities, stainless steel sippy cups, tumblers, 40-ounce bottles, and shaker cups. SE15 gets you 20% off your entire order at GameTimeSidekicks.com. Chase Robinson, good evening. Welcome to you. Good to be back. We haven't worked together in a couple of weeks, and it was kind of a thought to be a lesser day in college football with the schedule. We did have some good games, and we had some shockers that nobody saw coming, which seems to be a feature of college football these days. But let's hit first on A&M and Mississippi State, Texas A&M. I don't know, man. It felt like there was a force field around the goal line or something early on. And then I don't know what happened, but State has kind of opened it up in the second half. Its defense is playing well, other than, I guess, a big play a few minutes ago. Just a really, really impressive performance by the Aggies. Look, it is hard to run away from a good team in college football, but that is exactly what A&M is doing tonight.
Yeah, a little slow start for Texas A&M, but boy, they've picked it up. They look good. They have looked good, especially in the second half. And they kind of put the pedal down to the metal and have been getting the job done. So I've been really impressed with what I've seen from A&M, especially in the second half. They're looking like a number 6 team in the country right now. And look, I thought Mississippi State would challenge them. I mean, that's what kind of team State is this year. They're going to challenge teams, and they kept it close there in the first half and really made A&M work for everything that they got. But again, A&M has looked really impressive from what I've seen in this game, especially in the second half. But a good night for Texas A&M once they got into a rhythm, and I think, again, Marcel Reed had a little bit of a slow start, but they're in a rhythm, and they're looking good right now.
Yeah, he sure was good at times in the second half. And, man, that kid has got such a burst. I think one of the big takeaways tonight, Reuben Owens goes 21 for $142 for them. It had been a while since he'd had a big game. Le'Veon Moss got hurt early, and you guys have to excuse me. I had to once the game got out of hand, I had to take a walk with my dog lest he bark and interrupt the stream tonight, which he may do anyway. So any updates on Moss would be appreciated. I know he was in the injury tent early. He is obviously a key part to their offense. You would hate to see him get hurt 2 years in a row. Just explosive guys at receiver, and Craver and Concepcion had some big plays on special teams that got wiped out. Concepcion gets 2 touchdowns tonight. And the defense, man, A&M's defense at times has leaked a little bit. And gave up 40, whatever, how many ever was to Notre Dame in a game that A&M won. But Notre Dame is looking like, I'm not going to say a juggernaut, but that loss to Miami was a 1-score game.
Yeah.
Opening week of the season. Look what Miami's doing to Florida State tonight. And Notre Dame has been really good since beating A&M. I think that defense, which struggled at times earlier, getting better. It stopped a good Mississippi State offense. I just think I kind of look at teams and like, okay, what can you do and what can you not do? And probably one of the bigger bones I have to pick with A&M is that the passing is explosive, but it's not efficient. That was kind of the case again tonight. But I feel like everybody's got a flaw. Everybody in this league, I can name you what their flaw is. And so they're hardly alone, in that category. And I just think this to me is looking like one of the more complete teams in the league.
Yeah, you're right. And Richard dropped the comment, and I was going to throw that in there as well. Moss did come back in.
Good.
And yeah, we saw him later on in the game. So yeah, I thought that was really good to see him back in there, and hopefully all is good there with him. But yeah, I thought, yeah, and the running game is really good for A&M, and to see some of the routes they were running, to see Casey Concepcion use the way he was, I thought was really good tonight for A&M. He had a couple of good catches there, and they were really being creative in utilizing him as well, and really playing to what Mississippi State was giving them defensively in a couple of situations. So to see that elevate for Texas A&M, I think is going to be crucial for them moving forward the rest of the season.
Neglected to thank another sponsor earlier. We're also brought to you by the Hall of Fame app. Smart bettors rely on data. Hall of Fame hands you powerful analytics at your fingertips to tilt the odds in your favor. That's HOF app. Improve your chances of winning using historical data, matchup grades, trends, and player performance insights. HOF was created by Ivy League sports geeks to let everyday fans bet smarter. For limited time, our listeners can not only get a 7-day free trial, but they also can get 50% off their first month when they use code SE16 at checkout. Just download the Hall of Fame app on iOS or Android. Enter code SE16 and you are all set. Chase, anything else we want to talk about with regards to Mississippi State or A&M? I guess for State, your takeaway is your offense came up against, I don't know, probably the best defense it's seen all year. That didn't go so well until they broke an explosive pass play late. That game was 28-3. Had trouble running the ball tonight, which has been the Achilles heel of A&M's defense for a couple years running. Look, I think 6 games in the season, you're bound to have a little bit of a clunker. State really had not had one yet, and I think this would be the first.
Yeah, tonight was definitely not their night. And again, I don't think we can sit here and say, well, Mississippi State's not good. No, I still think that they've got some talent. They've played some great games so far this season. Tonight just it wasn't there. It wasn't there, and so I think we'll see them bounce back. But yeah, I mean, based off what we saw last week in that game, Mississippi State and Tennessee, I thought they could make it a little closer, but again, they haven't been able to run the ball. The offense just has not been there, and again, yeah, it's one of those nights for Mississippi State. I don't think that changes too much of my how I feel about Mississippi State. I still think they're going to win a couple SEC games based off what we've seen, but yeah, tonight just not a lot has gone right for the Bulldogs.
All right, let's rewind it and kind of slowly recap the day. You had Georgia starting it off, beating Kentucky. You had Alabama taking care of Vanderbilt. That game was a little closer than the score indicated. It was tied at half. Alabama tacked on a touchdown with 17 seconds left. You had Florida really controlling and beating Texas in a stat that was more, in a game that was probably more lopsided than the final stats indicated. You had Oklahoma handling Kent State about the way we expected. Thought there might be a little bit more offense there for Oklahoma, but hey, you get a 44-0 shutout. And did I leave anyone out? I think that's it.
Yeah.
Where would you like to start on all those?
Oh, it was strange because there wasn't that many games involving SEC teams today, but there was some fun ones, some good ones there. Yeah, I thought that was a good win for Georgia. Good response from the loss to Alabama last week, and they came out and did what they needed to do and beat Kentucky. I mean, I think it's obvious there's some major issues at Kentucky, and they've got a lot of work to do offensively, and so that was a good win for Georgia, and I think a really good win for Alabama as well. To get that win over Vanderbilt, I thought defensively Alabama made some really key stops when they needed to, and obviously Vanderbilt was able to have some success against the Alabama defense, like I thought they would. And Alabama made some key plays down the stretch when they needed to stop Diego Pavia and company. So I think that was a big win for Alabama at home. You got the revenge on Vanderbilt, and I think we're watching this Alabama team really come into shape. We saw them really at their worst against Florida State, and now over the last 4 weeks or so, we're starting to see this Alabama team of really what we thought that they would look like heading into the season. So I think that showed us a lot today with the way they were able to go out and get the win over Vanderbilt.
Yeah, looking back now, and I'm not going to say Florida State beating Alabama like that was a fluke, because I do think Florida State's a good team. But like if you just started from week 2 and watch this Alabama team, and maybe Alabama's been so good that everybody's opinion's in the same place, but that would it's just been so weird. I guess what I'm trying to say, Alabama, the performance have been so at odds in that Florida State game, and then everything since.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they have been. It's like a different team, really. Which I think that was an eye-opening game to start the season for Alabama, to get their attention a little bit, and I think it did, and we're seeing that. And I think again we're seeing this Alabama team come into shape of, we heard all this in the off season in the summer of, hey, this is a really good team, all this about Alabama, and then we saw week 1 against Florida State. We were questioning, well, that's not what we heard. Well, we're seeing what we've been hearing in the offseason right now for Alabama.
We'll take your questions, your comments, your super chats. We'll continue going over some of the other games of the day. We'll even hit on some national stuff tonight. Is you had a couple of big upsets, one huge upset that nobody saw coming. Yeah, I think Alabama, to me, Chase, I'll be interested to see how we plot it out on Monday. And maybe Ole Miss stays in the top spot, and maybe Ole Miss should stay in the top spot. But I'm not sure right now there's anybody you'd less rather play than Alabama.
I agree with you.
Maybe anywhere in the country.
Yeah, I most certainly agree with you. Things are clicking right now. Things are clicking offensively. Ty Simpson looks really good. The defense is playing hard. They're getting the job done. So yeah, Alabama's dangerous right now, and they got a tough one with Missouri next, and that's going to be a challenge. That's going to be a good ball game.
What did you make of Texas and Florida Day? I mean, Texas to me should not be ranked come Monday.
No, I don't think so. I mean, this is it's a colossal mess there in Austin. I thought I was thinking about this game a lot this week, from what we do and on the radio and stuff, and I was looking at this matchup from all aspects, and I thought, well, with it being in Florida, in Gainesville, I thought, well, that could be something good for the Gators to have this one at home. Neither quarterback is really playing like we thought they would this season. And the more I got to looking at this, I thought, maybe Florida can keep it close. I thought Texas would win, but I think it shows that Florida they're not giving up. They have not given up on the season. That's good to see. You hate to see that happen, and maybe it's a turning point for Florida. Texas, though, is just I don't know, Chris. That is we're not talk about disconnect from what we thought would happen with the Longhorns this season to what the product we're seeing on the field. You look at the roster; it was impressive going into the season. I don't even know what to say at this point about the Longhorns. It's there's a big disconnect there.
I posited this question many times. I don't think Steve Sarkisian's a bad coach. I don't like reacting in the moment. Like for right now, Penn State, a lot of people, we need to fire James Franklin. Well, he's got his issues, but he's won a lot of games too. And maybe they got a point there now that I think about it a little bit after today. But I feel like Steve Sarkisian has kind of been anointed that elite tier of coaching. I'm just not sure I see it the way everybody else has. I mean, he's done some great things. Don't get me wrong. But when I watched him play last year, I felt like as much talent as Texas had, which was backed up by what went in the draft, and the talent this year, I think, was backed up by your preseason draft lists and your preseason All-American teams. I just feel like the sum of the results, the whole has been less than the sum of the parts. And look, the sum of the parts was still pretty good last year. Made the playoff, double-digit wins, all those things. But I just feel like I still feel like they don't get enough out of the talent they have. And boy, was that evident today.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Yeah, and I really can't place my finger on what it is. But yeah, it's interesting because this is not what we thought. And again, look, how we project things in the off season always, doesn't mean it's going to come true. And case in point here with Texas, but I feel like it should be better than what we're seeing. And, I understand a lot of hype around the quarterback, especially given the family he comes from. Steve Sarkisian being the offensive mind that he is. It's just it's a little mind-boggling to me of what the problem is, why we're seeing what we're seeing, and they need to get this turned around. There was big expectations on Texas this year that obviously are not coming to fruition.
Georgia had a bounce back game today against Kentucky. Again, that was another one where a late score made it a little closer than it was. Really, Kentucky's last gasp was right before half. It had a chance to score. It did not. Georgia ends up winning at 35-14. Another really nice game from Gunnar Stockton. Kentucky always has been a difficult matchup, comparatively speaking, for Georgia. Kentucky's got a defense. Cutter Boley struggled today. Georgia just kind of, I don't know, controlling, I guess is the word I use for it. Got out 14-0 and never really was challenged, except for, again, like a brief part near the end of the first half where Kentucky had it cashed in. It gets interesting, but Kentucky did not.
Right, yeah. And, it was a good win for Georgia. Able to bounce back, get it done. Now kind of turn their attention and focus to Auburn next week, who's had the bye week to spend a little extra time working on the Bulldogs. But good win for Georgia getting it done today.
Oklahoma, Kent State. I don't know that we learned a lot about Oklahoma in a 44-0 win. Michael Hawkins, we've seen him play before. 14-24 for $162, 3 touchdowns. Had under 400 yards offense, which is, I don't know if that seems like it should be a little concerning. The defense dominated again, which it has done all year. Still couldn't get the running game going full blown. Kent State is one of the worst 2 teams in the FBS. So maybe Wes can help us out. I don't know if Oklahoma just went complete vanilla. Let's not lose another quarterback. Let's get ready for Texas, what the approach was. But I thought I'd see a bigger number on the total offense, even with Mateer out today.
Yeah, and look, they did what they needed to do to get the win. They did some good things. You get Michael Hawkins some time in there, and yeah, I think it was good for him that he has had time playing. We saw him several games last year, so he's been in the moment before, and so that has to be. And obviously, it's not good to have your starting quarterback out, but it has to be. Maybe you can take more of a different approach to the game, knowing that that you're able to get him in there. He's had some time playing in some big moments before, so once he gets going, I think you'll see some difference out of the Oklahoma offense once he kind of settles in and gets to going with the guys around him.
Yeah, Wes kind of confirmed what I thought. Says Wes is one of our regulars here on the channel for a year or two now. Did get Jade not going more. He got more carries than he got in a while. It relied on the defense. I mean, look, that's the thing too. If you're Oklahoma, your defense has been dominant all season. Nowhere in the recipe to victory in most of these games does Oklahoma have to be dominant, and certainly not today.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the truth.
All right, we're going to hit some national games in a minute, run down those in terms of implications for the playoff. We are going to hit the medal stand at the end. We'll take your questions, your comments, your super chats are always welcome. Those things help us here at the channel. We are brought to you by the Yearly Jewelry Company, which is a Nashville-based fine jewelry brand built on tradition and designed for meaning. Each piece is handcrafted from a solid 14-karat gold and natural gemstones made to measure for a perfect fit, backed by a lifetime guarantee. Customers build their collections year after year, celebrating anniversaries, birthdays, new beginnings, and everyday moments. Because Yearly Company, every Yearly Company bangle is custom sized. Knowing your size is the most important first step before ordering. That's where our sizing kit comes in. They are happy to provide you and our audience with a complimentary sizing kit. What you need to do is go to their website, use the promo code SE16KIT. That takes 100% off the sizing kit at checkout. Chase, you know what 100% discount is?
It sounds really good to me.
It's free. That's
free.
The other word for it.
That's my favorite price.
Hey, look, we're here to help you guys out, okay? Birthdays, anniversaries, Christmases, never too early to start shopping for Christmas. Just go to Yearly Company. They'll take care of your stuff. They'll take care of your shopping. It's the perfect place for husbands who want to have sizes ready. So anyway, that's why that sizing kit is so important. So get that done now. Get your holiday shopping done now so you don't have to worry about that. Yearly Company, new sponsor here, and we are very pleased. Also brought to you by ROKFORM, the world's strongest magnetic phone case, extreme protection, super strong magnets, rock lock secure mounting. September is the busiest month of the year with a new iPhone release. SEC 25 gets you 25% off your entire order. I use their case. I use their vent clip that my case clips to. It's magnetic. It is wonderful stuff. You will be thrilled that you got a ROKFORM case. Takes great care of your device. And again, the car accessories are fantastic too. ROKFORM, ROKFORM.com. Also brought to you by HOVI Dry Goods. Your new favorite hat. I've been wearing the Titans hat. Meant to have it on tonight, but forgot about that. Look no further than HOVI hats for high-quality headwear with a great fit and unique designs. Promo code BADBEAT, BADBEAT, for 15% off. Hey, look, my team sucks. They're the Titans. They're awful. We might go for the season, but I will proudly wear my Tighten Up hat. Not because of my team, but because it looks really darn good. So check out HOVI hats and discover what I have. I'll be wearing my Titans hat as we take another loss tomorrow, which we're doing lots of lately. All right, Chase. National scene. The shocker of the day, Penn State, which had, I believe, ESPN, had UCLA with a 61% chance to lose out for the rest of the year. Go 0-12. It got 28-7.5 and hung on for dear life to beat Penn State, which I think, I'm not going to say Penn State's eliminated from the playoffs, but man, those guys have got their work cut out because they have beaten nobody so far, lost to Oregon last week. Penn State was one of the top teams. I don't know what the preseason odds were at FanDuel for Penn State to go to the playoff, but boy, they're not good now because road trip to Ohio State coming up. And also, let's see, Indiana. That one's at home. Look, I think 9-3. I don't think Penn State's getting in.
No.
Run the table and you might have a chance.
Yeah, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed, Chris. Everybody tried to tell me to be impressed in the offseason. Well, I'm not. UCLA obviously playing with a little fire today, and And this year, I guess since coach fired, sometimes you see teams play with a little more edge. And we saw that, and they looked prepared for this game. Penn State looked unprepared for this game. So there's 0-2 start in conference play for Penn State. When you're right, they've got Ohio State, on the schedule still in a couple of weeks. Indiana on there as well. So I don't see this as a playoff team with Penn State. I really don't. Not the way they've been playing.
What was the final line on that? Was it? I mean, it had to be 20-something points, mid-20s, high 20s.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was. Yeah, but it had to be.
Are they the biggest favorite to lose a game this year?
Oh
wow.
Yeah.
The odds are still plus 370. That's crazy. That
Wow.
seems generous.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It sure does. Nico finally had him a good game out at UCLA.
Yeah. Did Penn State choose the wrong quarterback? Gosh.
Yeah, they very well may have. I
watched Perbula and I'm like, what am I missing? What did this guy do to be second team at Penn State?
Well, I just think he doesn't fit what James Franklin wanted to do, I think. And I think he fits perfectly with what Eli Drinkwitz wants to do.
Yeah. 25.5. Man. Yeah, I think they're the biggest favorite to lose this year. Nighttime champion waiting for A&M to learn Mo Bamba went to Texas. That's not very nice. That's not very nice. Let's see. What else have we got on the national scoreboard tonight? Ooh, Miami, Florida State has become a game suddenly. I hadn't caught that. Miami was up. Was it 28-3 at one point?
It was 28-3. Yes. So
Florida State. Going to throw that one on the TV.
They probably are going to run out of time, though. Just a little over a minute left. And they got a lot of field to work with. So
when they're down 9. So never mind. Yeah. Okay. Elsewhere, we had Texas Tech has not played much of anybody, but beat Houston 35-11. I know our friends of the show over at C-Ball Get Ball. They're big on Texas Tech, and I think Texas Tech's got a shot to run the table in the Big 12. I mean, they are really good on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, they do. They're impressive. I haven't watched much of them, but I've been keeping up with some things, and yeah, they're impressive. Yeah,
I mean, the wins so far for them. Well, I mean, they did beat Utah at a time I thought Utah might be a title contender. Other than that, the schedule's been pretty weak. But, that looks like your team to beat in the Big 12. I think the other headliner today, Cincinnati, which is playing pretty good ball, beat Iowa State. Iowa State and Texas Tech don't play this year. I mean, could meet in the title game. But that's one that if you're an SEC playoff caliber team, you're glad to see the Cyclones take on a loss because they're now 5-1.
Yeah, that's right.
So let's see. Iowa State has got some decent games coming up. Kansas, TCU, Arizona State. I don't know that 10-2 in the Big 12 get you in. But let's see. Michigan beat Wisconsin as expected. Notre Dame beat Boise State 28-7. Again, Notre Dame continues to play well. Illinois, since getting spanked by Indiana, has recovered nicely. 43-27 over Purdue. And Virginia, maybe your sleeper team of the year.
Yeah.
Gets a 30-27 victory over Louisville. Louisville's now lost one game this year. They were unbeaten. So keep an eye on Virginia in the ACC.
Yeah, they may sneak up on some folks.
Yeah, but I think you'd prefer if you're the college football world, you'd prefer Louisville taking that loss because Louisville had a shot to. Well, they do play Miami next week. Well, there was some Clemson, depending on what Clemson is. That's one that's losable. Clemson finally played like Clemson today.
Yeah.
Maybe too little, too late. And then BYU won last night. BYU's still unbeaten out in the Big 12. So not the biggest day for college football, but you had a couple of shockers. I mean, I really wasn't shocked in Gainesville. I'd call that on Mike Bratton's show Friday. I didn't call the upset, but Mike said, "Hey, give me the upset in the SEC that could happen this weekend." And I said Vandy, Alabama first, but then I said I think that keep an eye on Florida just because you saw them do it last year, and Texas offense has been awful. Bye week, defense has been good. That felt like a recipe.
Yeah.
Anyway. And it happened. 9-time champion wants to know I consider still a game. You can tell that man grew up on Jefferson Pilot. I guess so. I didn't. Maybe that was a phrase I used all the time. But I think when it's, I guess you could say 9 points with a minute left, and the team trailing by 9, still got a shot. I mean, not much of a shot. It might be a snowball's chance, but you score twice with an onside kick in between. Maybe not against Miami, but we're about to find out, though. We got an onside kick coming in Tallahassee.
All right.
And Mario Cristobal, if he were sitting, would be on the edge of his seat. He is very nervous.
I bet.
Well, first of all, kick's got to go 10 yards. I don't know why Miami fielded that because I don't think that thing was going 10 yards. But anyway, Miami's recovered the onside kick, and that's going to be that. I guess it would have gone 10 yards. Yeah, I did grow up on Braves baseball in the 80s. That's true. And the 90s and every decade since. Anything else across the country that surprised you, was notable?
I don't know. I mean, obviously the UCLA beating Penn State was the biggest. How about Florida State coming back from being way down? I think that, again, I don't know if it's a surprise, but that says something about Florida State. Yeah, I don't think so. Other than that, other than those, I mean, it was. I think you look at again how that kind of changes things moving forward. The two teams that lost in the top 10, and so that certainly is going to make things look different when the AP poll comes out this week.
All right, your unbeatens. Keep count of this for me. Georgia Tech, Indiana, Missouri, Ole Miss, Memphis, North Texas. See if they played today. They were unbeaten coming in today. Hadn't caught that one. BYU, Oregon, and Maryland won today, right?
I'm not seeing.
I think they're still unbeaten. Ohio State, Oklahoma, A&M, Miami. Did Navy win today?
I don't know that either.
UNLV won today. Texas Tech won today. So yeah, that's still, how many is that?
That is 15.
15. Okay. Oh, okay. Malik says Washington scored 21 unanswered to win it. I could have sworn I checked that, and that was final, but I guess it wasn't. Yeah. Wes, I thought we said Memphis. Did we not?
I think we did. Yeah.
Yeah. So knock Maryland out of there, which I don't think they would have stayed unbeaten long anyway. So going to be interesting to see the polls on Monday. Let's go to the AP poll. Ohio State, Oregon, Miami. I think that top three will remain in some order. Could Miami jump maybe from 3 to 2 or 1? You got Ole Miss, Oklahoma, A&M at 6. They're probably not going anywhere, and Oklahoma's probably not either.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
Penn State at 7 and Texas at 9. I don't see how you don't drop both of them out of the poll entirely.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll Texas may be out.
Texas, I don't know. I could see keeping Texas in because you lost a one possession game at Ohio State.
Yeah.
And, like Florida, for all the disaster this season's been, it's not like that's not a team that doesn't have the talent to get it together and beat just about anybody. So I'm like a little more forgiving of that than Penn State. I get that you're flying across the country 3 time zones away and it's an early game. But come on, man. You lost a home game last week to a really good Oregon team. But I mean, it took a minor miracle just to get there. Penn State has beaten nobody. I mean,
right, yeah.
Their first 3 games were just abysmal. So I'm dropping them out. Be interesting to see where Alabama goes. They were 10. Yes. Texas Tech's going to climb into the top 10. Georgia probably will too. Iowa State will drop, I would think. And it'd be interesting to see what happens to Florida State. Now with 2 losses and one of them at home. So, all right, let's do medal stand if you're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blake is right. I mean, look. Okay, you beaten. Who's your best win? I know it's not pretty, but let me just double check this. I mean, your best win is San Jose State.
Yeah, because UTEP is Sam Houston is not good at all.
No.
UTEP is not very good.
And your defense didn't even play well today. And Florida had been abysmal offensively.
Yeah.
And again, I get they're talented. I do. DJ Lagway can go off like he did today any given week. But
now that I sit here and I'm looking at their schedule and the not to discredit San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston, but we know they're not on the same level as Texas, and those are the 3 wins and the 2 important games on Texas's schedule they've both lost. So I don't see them. I don't see why they should be ranked if they can't win the games that are important, that matter. They're gonna have to show a lot. They're gonna have to prove a lot to show that they're worth being ranked.
They've been bad offensively 4 or 5 games, bad to mediocre. And been pretty good defensively in most of those games, but I don't know. You need to I don't know. You need to be better than that offensively against the schedule, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Mizzou Shane says, you always comment on Missouri's schedule. Look at how easy Texas' schedule is. I agree. Hey, well, Texas is kind of weird. Because you played probably the best team in the country on the road. Again, you played Florida. That one's a little complicated, but it had been playing well. And then 3 very unimpressive teams. Look, Shane, I've said all along, Missouri's schedule hasn't been great, but I've been super impressed with them. I think in terms, and the schedule may have something to do with it, but I think in terms of what you have shown me, I think I've seen fewer things to be concerned about with Missouri than than about any team in the league. The kicking game comes to mind, and you had that covered until you got your kicker hurt in the opener. And hear a lot of stuff about downfield passing against them. Could be a concern. We'll see against better teams, but statistically, they've been really good. So, look, your schedule's backloaded. We knew that coming in. Let's see. Dallas 7. What are you seeing out of this Texas A&M team that is helping us battle BAS? It's late and I've gone blank. What is BAS?
I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what I've seen from them. I see a team that feels like on any given night could be complete.
Yeah.
You know, the running game and the run defense have been two things all season. Tonight they ran the ball really well with Reuben Owens in particular, and they defended the run exceptionally well. Well, they defended everything pretty well tonight. Again, probably your issue is in a game where he has to, where it becomes a first down type of game, can Marcel Reed string together enough completions to keep moving the chains? I mean, their offense is big play. They got a couple of big time downfield dudes. And look, maybe they're good enough there, it won't matter. But I feel like A&M is one of these Patrick Haggerty syndrome. Thank you. Yeah, you guys are in your heads a little bit. I get it. Look, I said before the season there was a lot of things about your team I liked. I liked that your offensive line was old. You got a good left tackle. You don't have a lot of experience at quarterback coming into the year, but look around the league. You're probably par for the course. You got the heart soul of your team back with Moss, and he's not been all that yet. But, he can be. So I like your team. I feel like you guys check a lot of boxes.
They do. They really do.
Yeah. Malik says, let's see how Missouri plays against Bama. That is going to be a terrific game.
Yeah.
Really want to see that one. Bama's had some issues with running quarterbacks. Prbula can run pretty well. Contained Pavia today. So maybe they found an answer that they can carry forward. But yeah, that's going to be a really, really good game. And your two backs are a load. So
yeah.
Are we ready for medal stand?
Yeah.
All right. How do you want to do this? Do you want to do mine and then you do yours? Or do you want to unleash them at the same time?
Let's just go for it.
All right. Let's do teams. I'm going to go bronze Texas A&M. Played really well. You're at home. You're almost a 15-point favorite. So that factors in. Silver, I'm going Florida.
Yeah. Needed
to win pretty badly. I got my doubts against Texas, but they can play defense. Your offense finally showed up. And I'm going to go Alabama. Thought Alabama looked really good today. Thought Alabama looked like the national title contender we saw coming in. That's my medal stand.
Yeah, I agree with those. Florida, to me, it was really impressive to see them do what they needed a game like that. They needed something to give them a little confidence. They haven't given up. They're still playing hard. We saw that today, and winning a game like that. And it doesn't matter. You beat Texas. You beat a team that is, whether they should be or not, currently a top 10 team. You win that game. I think that is a huge win for Florida, like a big statement win for Florida. So kudos to them today.
Let's see. Let's go players. I'm going to do something I rarely do. And without apologies to Gunnar Stockton and, oh gosh, who was I thinking about for offense on A&M? I guess you could have considered Owens. You could have considered Concepcion. I'm just going to give it to the A&M defense. Allowed 219 yards and 9 points. 6 of those came really late when the game was over. Hey, nobody defended Mississippi State like A&M did tonight all season. So I think they've earned it.
I agree with that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're doing their job. They're working hard this year. They're good.
All right, my silver, I'm going DJ Lagway, who was 21 of 28 for 298, 2 touchdowns and 1 pick, over 10 yards per throw. Basically exactly the same kind of stat performance he had last year when Florida caught a heater with him behind center.
Yeah, he needed that game. He's been struggling. He needed a game to get things right, to get things going. Today was it. Yeah. Hats off to him. He needed a good game and he had one.
All right, gold, I'm going Ty Simpson. Did throw the first pick of his career, but other than that was just about flawless. 23 of 31, 340, 2 touchdowns. And I need to see Dante Moore play a little bit, but I don't know. Ty Simpson to me is looking every bit like a Heisman contender at this point.
I agree with you on gold for Ty too. He's been sharp, and picks are going to happen as a quarterback when you throw the ball a lot. It's going to happen. So to have made it this far without his first pick, yeah, that's good. But yeah, I'm impressed with him, and his numbers are really good. He is, he hits his targets. He's laser focused. He's been really fun to watch the last few weeks. And I think this is sustainable. I was listening to Greg McElroy talk the other day, and somebody asked him like, can Ty Simpson keep up the play he's been playing? Is that sustainable? And he said, yeah, it is for a quarterback who's running the offense that Ty Simpson is, that what he's doing right now is completely sustainable for the rest of the season. Because he's not a quarterback like, I'll use Diego Pavia, an example, who's having to use his legs a lot, who's having to really make plays happen. That's not the same offense that Ty Simpson's running. So I think what we're seeing from Ty Simpson is certainly sustainable all season long, and he's been great.
And Vanderbilt really got after him in the second half.
Yeah,
and he made some really good throws on the run. Sometimes was just really patient to let somebody break open. I mean, son of a coach, mature kid, has had a lot of practice reps. You can see why they valued him and stuck with him. And like, hey, good for them. Like, Ty Simpson's the kind of kid that gets picked off in the portal constantly.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
Let's see. Shane asked for a teaser on our power rankings. I'll give you this. The conversation for one, in no particular order, could be undefeated Texas A&M, undefeated Ole Miss, undefeated Oklahoma, 1-loss Bama, undefeated Missouri. I think anybody else, I mean, I'm not saying those are going to be my top 6, because I don't think I'd have Georgia outside my top 6. But I think that's, if you want a teaser, it's sorting through that. For me, I was thinking earlier in the night, like, okay, I had Ole Miss at 1 last week. Do I jump a 1-loss Alabama over them based on 2 really good wins, Vanderbilt and at Georgia, particularly at Georgia where nobody wins? Ole Miss did not play this week. Alabama was perceived to be the better team coming into the season. Maybe that factors in. And then you've got Oklahoma, which offensively wasn't super impressive today, but the defense is showing up every week, unbeaten. You get Mateer back in a couple of weeks. I still think Missouri is a team that could end up there. We'll see. It's about to get a lot tougher. Alabama game is going to tell you a lot about them. I think.
Oh, yeah.
But, you can only play the schedule you played. They've looked terrific so far. Probably statistically the most balanced team in the league. And, I guess that's the 5 or 6 that if you're looking at the top spot, you would evaluate. And A&M too. And A&M, I think, just keeps getting a little better too, which that might factor in. Any opinions on that?
No, I mean, it's it's a lot to think through every week. I feel like when it comes to figuring out when I'm submitting my power rankings, but I think there's a I feel like the top teams all have a case in different scenarios from what we've seen from them. I have a tough time every week doing those power rankings, figuring out, because look, again, every team has their strength, but everyone has their weakness, and I think we're starting to learn more about these teams. I don't feel like a team has separated themselves really yet, and maybe we'll start to see that, but right now I feel like it's very competitive towards the top.
Yeah. Let's see. I had something on my mind. I've forgotten it. Oh, well. Any other thoughts for the night before we shut it down?
I'm excited about next week already. A lot of good games on the way. We'll continue to learn more about these teams as they get into competitive games, and maybe we do start finding out who the top level teams and who's going to kind of step out in the SEC. But I'm already excited to start looking ahead to those games next week and preview them in the early part of the week.
Yeah, I mean, we got Red River, OU in Texas. We got Alabama at Missouri, LSU hosting South Carolina. Carolina looked a little better last we saw them. Both teams had a bye week. Georgia going to Auburn. Tennessee hosting Arkansas, which that'll be a bye week with Bobby Petrino running the team and staff fired and all that. And, Florida and A&M. In College Station could be interesting based on Florida. So yeah, much better schedule of games next week. We'll be here to tell you about those. We will be here for Power Rankings Monday morning, probably 10 Central live. We'll do previews during the week. I think I'm going to do some playoff type content that we've never unveiled before. Been working on something for a long time and intended to do that this past week, and then my mother passed. So regroup this week, maybe get that out next week, and then we'll do it all again next Saturday. Chase,
sounds like a plan. Love SEC
all right.
football.
Yeah, we're here for it. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for your comments, your super chats, all that stuff. For Chase Robinson, I'm Chris Lee. You've been watching Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel.